Hello, everybody, and welcome to lesson 2. You're all very welcome. This is a live lesson, so let me just check that everything's working okay, and then we can begin. And hello to everybody saying hello in the chat. You're all very, very welcome. Before we start lesson 2, could you do me one favor? Could you let me know in the comments that you can see me, that you can hear me, and everything is working okay? There's 1,000 people who've joined already. Thank you so much. That's amazing. And we will get going in about 1 minute, guys. All right. So let me just check with my team that everything is working okay. Thanks very much, Jermaine, for letting me know. All good. Okay, let me know where you're watching from, guys. And congratulations to any people from Saudi Arabia and commiserations to Argentina. I'm sure Argentina will bounce back. Hope that you're all enjoying the World Cup. Okay, so all right, I think we're ready to go, guys. Today we're going to focus on main body paragraphs. Before we look at the main body paragraph stuff, I'm going to show you a little bit of feedback and how we're giving feedback for yesterday's lesson for the homework task. So without further ado, let me share my screen and we'll get going. Okay. So welcome to lesson 2, guys, where we're going to write our main body paragraphs. So yesterday we focused on how to write our introductions and I gave you a homework task. I'm going to show you the feedback now in a second. And today we're going to look at main body paragraphs. And I'm also going to give you another homework task at the end of the lesson. It's really important that you do the homework tasks because you can't just watch a video and then immediately get better. You need to apply what you learn in the lesson, and then you will really, really improve. Tomorrow, we're going to focus not just on conclusions. We will do conclusions, but we'll also look at time management. I'm going to show you how we help our students finish in 40 minutes, get everything done without any stress. And we're also going to look a little bit at grammar and vocabulary. And then the most important homework task is tomorrow. We will be giving you the full essay to write. And then tomorrow we will have some good news, or on Friday, sorry, we will have some good news for you as well. So homework feedback. So what I've done is I've put together the feedback into this. So this is how we help thousands of students at once with feedback. So targeted feedback focuses on a small number of targeted areas. So instead of giving you feedback on everything, we give you feedback on the most important areas only. And it helps students focus on their key mistakes and identify their main weaknesses. When you are looking at feedback, the main two things you should be thinking about are what key mistakes did I make and what are my weaknesses? And then how do I improve those weaknesses? And it also helps students help themselves and improve their own weaknesses. This is actually more effective than one-on-one feedback for many, many students. Excuse me. So we do this by looking at a series of simple statements and then analyzing our own work. And we'll look at a range of samples. So what I've done is I've put together these questions. So you ask yourself these questions. And if you can answer yes, then you've done the right thing. If the answer is no, then you need to improve. Also look at lots of samples. So you can see good samples, bad samples. And we'll do this for question analysis, idea generation, lots of good and bad samples here, paraphrasing, samples again, and outlining the questions and the samples again. So what I've done is I put all of that together into one ebook for you, and I'll put all of those together and I'll send it to you if you complete the course. So I only want to help those who want to help themselves. So if you attend all 3 lessons, we will send you all that feedback at the end in a nice ebook for you. And then you can apply that to your own homework tasks and then really, really improve. Okay, so make sure that you show up tomorrow and complete the course, and you'll get all of that feedback. All right. Someone says video quality is not good like yesterday. We haven't had any other complaints. If the video quality is not good, make sure that you plug in to your internet or switch to the fastest Wi-Fi possible, and then we'll be able to help you out. It's normally not our Wi-Fi, it's your Wi-Fi. That's the problem. Okay, guys, so let's continue the lesson. So what will we look at today? We're going to look at how to use our introduction as the foundation for the rest of our essay. What we do with our VIP students is we really focus on nailing the introduction, because the introduction is very, very important. But if you get the introduction right, it makes the rest of your essay much, much easier to write. It's kind of like the foundation or a plan for the rest of your essay. And then we're also going to look at how to write a main body paragraph. We're going to break that down into topic sentences, explanations, and examples. So I'll show you how you can easily come up with these and write these in your essay. Then we'll give you your homework task, which it will be writing your own main body paragraphs. Many of you have been asking about Black Friday. Black Friday is this Friday, so it's in 2 days' time. It's the only time of the year where we provide massive discounts on our VIP course. So the good news is on Friday, we will have massive discounts. The biggest discounts we ever offer on our VIP course will be on Friday. So stay tuned for more information on that. All right, so let's remind ourselves of the structure we're using in this course. So we're introduction, we did this yesterday. Today, we're going to focus on the main body. So the first main body paragraph, we're going to answer the first question of the double question. And then the second main body paragraph, we're going to answer the second question. It's very logical, easy to write, easy to read. And then tomorrow, we will finish off our essay with a conclusion. Make sure that you do show up tomorrow, guys, because a lot of students maybe write a good introduction, good main body, and then they either run out of time or they just don't know how to write a good conclusion. This can mean the difference between you getting a 6 or 6.5 and a 7 or a 7.5 if you miss the conclusion. So please, please show up for that tomorrow. Let's look at the sample question. Just have a read of that. Many working people get little or no exercise either during the working day or in their free time and have health problems as a result. Why do many working people not get enough exercise, and what can be done about this problem? So, using your introduction to write your main body, what does this mean? So, if we have a look at our VIP student sample from yesterday, as a consequence of getting minimal exercise, either while at work or when they are off, employed people suffer from health issues. So, this is because in black, answer to question 1, and in red, answer to question 2. So what we can do is just look at our introduction and we know what we are going to write about in our main body. So what this does is it helps you because you don't have to worry about writing a big plan and going back to planning and looking and getting confused. You can just really focus on writing a good introduction, and then this will plan out the rest of your main body. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this new mouse. So main body 1 is going to be about a lack of time. Main body 2 is going to be about designated gym sessions could solve this problem. So if we go back here, lack of time, designated gym sessions. We've already talked about this in our introduction. And then we just look here. This is what our first main body is going to be about, and this is what our second main body is going to be about. So it helps you and it helps the reader. Why do we write something? To help the reader. So anything that helps the reader or anything that helps you is going to help you write a good essay. So main body paragraphs. This is the most important part. So the introduction is important, the conclusion is important. The main body makes up most of your essay. It's not the only important thing, but it's probably the most important thing. Think of it as the a sandwich. The introduction and the conclusion are the bits of bread, and the main body paragraphs are the filling. All right. The bread is important, but the most important bit is the bit inside between the two slices. This is where you will make your reasoned argument. Okay. What is an essay? It is your reasoned argument. So it's very, very important. Your reasoning is often referred to as idea development. So if you look at the official marking criteria, it will talk a lot about developing ideas, idea development. This is just another way of saying reasoned argument. You're providing reasons for your argument. So, as I said yesterday, a good way, excuse me, a good way to do this um, is to break everything down into bite-sized pieces. So let's break a main body paragraph down into its three elements. The first element is your topic sentence. This is just your main idea. Don't think of it as a topic sentence because a lot of students don't really know what that is. Simplify it. Just think, this is me writing my main idea. Explanation. What is an explanation? It's your reasons, your reasoning. And your example, don't think of it as an example. Think of it as evidence. So main idea plus your reasoning plus your evidence. And we'll look now, we'll break each of these things down into bite-sized simple pieces. So topic sentence. This tells the reader what the paragraph is about. So remember, I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but I need to, because believe me, a lot of students will not understand this if I don't repeat it over and over again. Why do we write something? We write something to communicate with the reader. So the topic sentence is just a way of communicating with the reader what the paragraph is about. What is the main idea of the paragraph? Think of it as a flag or a signal telling the reader what the main idea is. So imagine you're going through a strange city, or imagine going through an airport. What do you see around a city or around an airport to help you? Signs, all right, signals telling you where to go, what to do. That is what each part of your essay is doing. So the topic sentence is just a signal, it's just a sign to the examiner. This is my topic sentence. This is what the main idea of the paragraph is about. So again, it's changing your thinking from how do I get a good score to how do I communicate clearly with the reader. Should be short and simple, does not need to be a complex sentence. The reason why I'm putting this in is a lot of teachers and books and YouTube channels teach their students that every sentence needs to be long and complex. This is not the case. You can easily get a 7, 8, or 9 and write a short, simple sentence for your topic sentence, believe me. So let's have a look at a sample topic sentence from one of our VIP students. This is the question. Why do many working people not get enough exercise? So we're going to focus on this in the first main body paragraph. The main idea in the introduction, this is because of a lack of time. So this student will look up at their introduction. This is because of a lack of time. Okay, I know my topic sentence needs to be about this. A hectic lifestyle leaves most working adults with little time for working out. So this means basically the same as this. They are busy, so they don't have time. Now, basically what they have done is they've taken this and they've paraphrased it. They've stated it again using different words. Now, many of you might not think you're capable of doing that, but in order to get a band 7, you need to do band 7 things. In order to get a band 8, you need to do band 8 things. You should be able to paraphrase multiple times in your essay. And it's not that complicated. Like none of these words, maybe hectic is a little bit high level, it's a little bit complicated, but you could change this to busy. A busy lifestyle leaves most working adults with little time for working out or little time for exercising. Doesn't need to be complicated, okay? So now we've finished our topic sentence. Don't overcomplicate it. You don't need more teaching on this. All you need is to take your main idea and state it again. Don't overcomplicate it, all right? Now we can move on to explanation. So we've done our topic sentence. The examiner knows what the paragraph is about. Now we can explain that main idea. Think of explanations as reasons why you believe your main idea or why you think your main idea is correct. So think about it in that way. Remember, we're changing your way of thinking here. We're not giving you quick tips and hacks. Change it from I'm explaining it to I'm providing reasons why this is correct or why I believe this to be true. Remember that you are providing your reader with a reasoned argument. You cannot simply state a main idea and hope it is developed by writing some random ideas after it. Remember, purpose. What is the purpose of an essay? To communicate clearly, to provide a reasoned argument, to provide your truth on the topic. Don't just write a bunch of things related to the topic. So why do most people not provide good explanations? All right. Most students, more than 90%, and we correct thousands of essays every month. 90% of people do not provide good explanations. Why is that? The first reason is they assume the person knows what they mean. So if you say to someone you should eat vegetables every day, is that a good explanation? No, because you're assuming that the person understands that vegetables are healthy, that they have all these impacts on your health. They have vitamins, they have fiber, they help with your digestion, they help with a whole range of things. You're assuming that that person knows all of those things. When you're writing an essay, you should never assume the person understands anything. You should write to that person as if they know nothing about the topic. They are not used to writing arguments. When speaking, people can ask you follow-up questions. So I remember when I was working in a few countries in Asia, and I was teaching adults actually, and they said, "Oh, you should play basketball if you want to get taller." Well, if you're speaking to someone, you can say to that person, "Well, what do you mean? What do you mean you should play basketball to get? Are you sure about that? Why do you think that?" You can ask them lots of follow-up questions, and then that person can explain what they mean. When you're writing, nobody will be able to ask you follow-up questions. No one will, the examiner won't be able to text you the next day or send you a message on WhatsApp and say, "Well, what do you mean by this?" All right. So don't just make statements that don't make any sense without any explanation. And by the way, I do not believe this. This is wrong. By the way, I don't believe this. I'm just adding this in as an example. They confuse stating their main idea again with an explanation. So if somebody wrote, "You should play basketball if you want to get taller because basketball increases your height." That is stating the same thing twice. That is not an explanation. That is just stating the exact same thing. And by the way, basketball does not increase your height. I do not believe this. This is just an example that I've seen a lot when I was working in a certain country. So a lot of students say, well, when I try to write explanations, I get stuck. My mind just goes blank. So here are a few techniques that really, really help our students. So the first one actually comes from my old English teacher. So whenever I was in school, we would be in classroom and all the student in English class, all the students would be writing and the teacher would come behind you and he would point at your topic sentence and he'd go, so what? So what? Quite aggressively, quite angrily. I wouldn't do that with students. But what the teacher was saying was explain. So when you're a child, like we were only 13, 14, 15, when you're a child, you tend to just make statements. You don't really explain things. If you hear two children arguing, like my little boy at the minute loves football because he's watching the World Cup and he'll say like Messi is the best, and then his friend will say Ronaldo is the best. Well, so what? Explain why. You're not a child, all right? You're not an 8-year-old, 9-year-old child. Make sure that you explain things further. The next technique, if you get stuck, would be how would you explain this to someone who knows nothing about the topic? So imagine you are writing your essay to a small child who knows nothing about the topic, or maybe if the essay is about technology, for example. Imagine an old granny or an old grandmother who doesn't know anything about this topic. How would you explain that to them? Like if you were writing an essay to Mark Zuckerberg or your grandmother, you would about social media, you would write the essay very, very, very differently. So the first essay, you're writing to someone who is an expert. The second essay, you're writing to someone who knows nothing about that topic. Apologies if your grandmother knows a lot about social media, but most don't. This way of thinking, this change in thinking, really helps with explanations. Another way that helps students with explanations is imagine you are arguing with someone who you completely disagree with. So somebody says, you're wrong. All right. So in that example I gave, whenever the student said to me, basketball makes people taller, I said, no, that's not correct. All right. You're wrong. How would you then explain your point to that person who disagrees with you? If you cannot do that, your point is probably wrong, or you do not have enough knowledge about that point. You should be able to provide explanations to support your point if you know about that point. All right. Not just assumed knowledge or something that you heard. When I was talking to that student, I said, why do you think basketball players, why do you think that they're tall? He said, well, my dad told me that. And my teacher told me that. Well, maybe your dad is wrong. Maybe your teacher is wrong. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. So how would you win this argument? So if you're a man, what would a woman say? If you are from Asia, what would someone from America say? If you are a doctor, what would a dentist say? Like put yourself in someone else's shoes and think about why do they think this? And that will really help you with explanations. Now, you don't have to use all 4 of these. Remember, these are just if you get stuck. All right. But normally students really like at least 1 or 2 of these, and they get into the habit of using 1 or 2 of these. And then that becomes part of how they write an essay. It becomes a habit. All right. It's like riding a bike. So let's look at some explanations. And I want you to tell me if they are sufficient, if they are good. So here's our topic sentence. A hectic lifestyle leaves most working adults with little time for working out. Let's look at a few explanations and you can tell me if they are good or not good. People working more than ever before, people work more than ever before, meaning they don't have time to work out. So this is number 1. Do you think this is good or do you think this is bad? In the comments, tell me. In this modern world, people have little time to work out than ever before. Do you think this is good or bad? Write good or bad in the comments. So let's look at a third explanation. Many working people work long hours and have many responsibilities other than going to the gym. So I want you to look at these three explanations, and I want you to put 1 in the comments if you think 1 is the best, 2 if you think 2 is the best, and 3 if you think 3 is the best, or 4 if you think none of them are good. All right? So let's have a look. So 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. All of you think 3 is the best. Explain why you think 3 is the best. So can you explain why you think that 3 is the best explanation? Some of you are saying 4, about 10% of you are saying 4, and the rest. So I think a lot of you looked at number 3, and you're confusing length or detail with good explanation. A good explanation can be short or it can be long. A good explanation can be extremely detailed or have no detail at all. Don't confuse length or detail with effectiveness. All right, we're thinking about, is this an effective explanation? Can the examiner look at that explanation and understand why you think that idea is true? Writing is a way of taking the ideas out of your head, putting them on paper, and then giving them to someone else. Writing is amazing because it allows someone to really look inside your head, understand what you think about something. That is an amazing thing, right? So make sure that you're doing that, allowing someone to understand what you think. But let's have a look at those 3 and see which ones are effective and which ones aren't. So people work more than ever before, meaning they don't have time to work out. This is restating exactly what is in the topic sentence. So this is a very bad explanation because it doesn't explain anything. It is just repeating the same thing. In this modern world, people have little time to work out than ever before. This is exactly the same. This sentence in orange and these 2 sentences in blue are just repeating the same thing again and again. Many people work long hours. This means the same thing as a hectic lifestyle. Have many responsibilities means the same thing as a hectic lifestyle, other than going to the gym, so they don't have time to work out. Number 3 explains nothing. It just repeats. So the reason why I played this little trick on you so that 90% of you would get it wrong is I want to kind of shock you into stop doing this thing, which is just confusing repeating with explaining. Explaining is completely different from repeating. Let's have a look at this one. A hectic lifestyle leaves most working adults with little time for working out. This is our topic sentence again. Most people work from 9 to 5 with only a short lunch break and a long commute on top of this. So what this first sentence is doing, it is explaining what a hectic lifestyle means. What is a hectic lifestyle? Well, it's, working from 9 to 5, you don't have time at lunch, then you have to drive home, you don't really have a lot of time when you get home. Well, imagine my English teacher saying, so what? So what if you work 9 to 5? So what if you only get a short lunch break? So what if you only get if you have a long commute? Why can't you work out? Or imagine someone saying, you should be able to work out. You only work 9 to 5. You could work out when you get home. Well, let's explain that to that person. This leaves them with only a few hours in the evening for things other than work. And often they are so exhausted that free time is spent on more relaxing activities, such as watching television or surfing the internet. So this person is fully explaining to this person who disagrees with them or this person who doesn't know anything about the topic. Would you be able to read this and understand what this person thinks about the question. Absolutely. This person, you've no idea because they're just repeating the same thing. Again, how did the student write this? Well, they were writing to someone who knows nothing about the topic or writing to someone who disagrees with them. I'm sure you've all seen people on social media who say, you should be able to work out. You're just lazy. Everybody should be able to work out. Well, if you disagreed with them and you provided this explanation, then they might still disagree with you, but they can't say that you're being unreasonable because you provided reasons. So this is our VIP students paragraph so far. In orange, we have our topic sentence, and then in blue, we have her explanation. Now, don't worry about number of sentences, number of words. That's not really what we're focusing on here. What you should focus on is, did I write a clear, effective topic sentence? And did I write a clear, effective explanation? If you do that, then everything else will fall into place. But is she showing off or doing anything fancy? In the comments, yes or no. If you read this, is she doing anything fancy or complicated or beyond what you would be able to do? Yes or no? Let's have a look. No, 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 no. Yeah. So the reason why our students are successful, the only way that you can help students be successful is not by making things more complicated or teaching them things beyond their capability. What you need to do is, within the marking criteria, teach them things that they are capable of doing. Anyone can do those things. All right. You are all more than capable of doing those things. But the key thing that you need to do is change your mindset from I need to show off how amazing my grammar and vocabulary and structures and all of these things are, is just clearly communicate with the examiner. Anybody can read that paragraph and understand what she thinks about it. And that's why she was able to dramatically increase her score. Because if I just teach you lots of complex stuff, none of you will be able to do it, or most of you won't be able to do it. Okay, let's finish off with our examples. So your main ideas and reasons, otherwise known as explanations, are not enough. You must go one step further. The strongest arguments have proof or evidence. So whenever I was a lawyer, I would have to go into court and defend people. So imagine I'm your lawyer and you were caught, or someone seen your car, not you, someone seen your car speeding at 170 miles per hour. And I go into court and I'm your lawyer and I say to the judge, my client was not speeding at 170 miles per hour. Would you be happy with me as your lawyer? Would you be happy? No. You should be very unhappy with me as your lawyer. You should fire me immediately. Believe me, there are good lawyers and there are bad lawyers. My client was not speeding at 170 miles per hour on the 19th of March 2022 on Main Street, Manchester. On that date, he was on board a flight to Australia. Who is the better lawyer, the blue lawyer or the black lawyer? Hope that you will understand that the second one is a much, much better lawyer. Is it because he is more detailed or she is more detailed? No, it is because they are providing evidence. He was on a flight to Australia. Flights to Australia are very, very long. On the 19th of March, he could not have been driving his car because he was flying at 35,000 feet. This one is unreasonable and bad because it has no proof. It has no evidence. Don't think of your examples as examples. Think of it as proof or evidence as to why you are correct. So examples do not need to be true, but they must make sense. All right. So in the IELTS test, a lot of students ask me, can I write things that aren't true? Can I make up examples? So the answer to that is yes, you can make up examples, but it is better if they are actually true because they need to make sense. It is best if they are true, and avoid using research and statistics. Avoid using research and statistics because IDP and the British Council have recently said do not use them. The reason why they said do not use them is because when students do use them, they don't make sense. Again, if you were arguing with someone, what evidence would you use to prove your argument? It is extremely difficult to win an argument with a lawyer. If you know any friends that are lawyers or you have any family members, because they have been trained to use this method of what's your argument, what are your reasons, and here's my proof, here's my evidence. Lay people, people that aren't lawyers, don't argue in that way. They'll normally just argue in a way that you see in the comment section of IELTS Advantage videos on YouTube. You should avoid using personal examples. They normally do not prove the general point. So a lot of people ask, well, can I just say my sister did this or my cousin did this or I did this? You can, but most of the time students will mess them up because they do not prove the general point. Instead, try thinking of a personal example and then making it a more general example, more impersonal, to provide proof, to provide evidence that your point is correct. This will help you think of an example and then make it stronger. So what do I mean by this? So why do personal examples not normally make any sense? So this is a real example from a real student. The question was about smoking, and this student wrote, my grandfather smoked 40 cigarettes a day and he lived until he was 100, so smoking is fine. All right. This is true. This is a fact. This person's grandfather did live until he was 100. He did live to that age and smoked 40 cigarettes a day. But does that provide proof that smoking is fine? No, because one example, one personal example, does not prove the general point. So you will often see students writing, my cousin did this, or my sister did this. You'll often hear people saying, my cousin got a band 8 at the British Council, and I got a band 6 at IDP. Therefore, the British Council is easier than IDP. That is just ridiculous logic. All right. That it doesn't make sense at all. It is true, but it doesn't prove the general point. So let's have a look at how to use this technique where we think of a personal example and then we make it stronger. We make it more general. So how has online shopping affected traditional shops? So imagine you are this person. My sister worked in a bookshop in my town and it closed down because of competition from Amazon. Is this a good example? Well, not really, because your sister's bookshop might have closed down because it was a bad bookshop, or the manager wasn't very good, or the owner was terrible at their job, or your sister was terrible at their job. It doesn't really prove that the reason why it closed down was competition from Amazon. They might have just been bad booksellers. But we could take this and change it, make it stronger. Instead of your sister, many offline retailers in the UK closed down recently because of competition from online companies such as Amazon, for example. This proves the general point of the question. This is just you talking about your sister who's terrible at selling books. All right. If your sister does work in a bookshop, I'm just joking. All right. Don't get offended. No, some of you get offended very easily. All right. Should children learn a second language in primary school? My son can speak Vietnamese and English. This is a fact. This is about me. All right. My son was born in Vietnam. He lives now here in Ireland. He can speak Vietnamese fluently and he can speak English fluently. Does this provide evidence that children should learn a second language in primary school? No. All right, it's just one little boy. But we could use this example from my real life. Many children that grow up in a bilingual household, two languages being spoken, have an advantage over children who do not. So I've taken my personal example and I've converted it, I've made it stronger to improve my example. So in this one, my sister, change it to that. In this one. So why is this so good? The reason why this technique works very well is most people have experience in some way during their life experience with the question in some way. So it's an easy way to think of examples. Let's have a look at how our VIP student did this. So this is her topic sentence in orange. In black, this is her explanation. And then this is her example. For example, I work around 80 hours a week, leaving me with no time to work out. So is this a good example? No, right? It's too personal. So what I said to this student was, okay, that doesn't really prove anything. It's a little bit too personal. In the real exam, you might write something like this and it might not be very good. How could we change this to a stronger example? So the questions I asked her were, okay, where do you live? She is from Iran, I think, but she lives in the UK. Yeah, I think so. Not 100% sure. What is her job? She's a or pharmacist or optician, one of the medical professions. So how could we use that information? She's a medical professional living in the UK. How could we convert that into a better example? For example, many medical professionals in the UK spend more than 80 hours per week on work-related activities, leaving them with no time to work out. So is this true? Are there many medical professionals, many doctors, nurses, pharmacists, opticians, maybe not opticians, who work more than 80 hours per week on work-related activities? Probably yes, this is true. Will this result in them have no time working out? Yes, this is true. So she's using her own experience to write an example, but much more stronger than a personal example. So now you know how to write your topic sentence, you know how to write your explanations, and you know how to write your examples, but you need to put it into practice. You cannot just watch this video and then immediately improve your writing. You can't watch a video on football and become a better footballer. You can't watch a video on painting and become an expert painter. You need to put it into practice. So look at the question below, follow the steps outlined in this lesson, and write a main body paragraph for the first question. Just the first question. Just work on one. Now, don't try and do this in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. You're not trying to write a good main body paragraph. I'll repeat that. You're not trying to write a good main body paragraph. What you're trying to do is learn the techniques, learn the strategies. So focus on learning the strategies, write the best main body paragraph you can produce, and then look at the feedback that we will give you, and then try and write a really good paragraph. All right, that's how the system works. So this is your question, or homework question. Nowadays, museums and historical sites are mainly visited by foreign tourists instead of locals. Why is this happening? What can be done to get locals to visit museums and historical sites more? So I'll give you a minute to take a screenshot of that, but you can always go back and watch the replay of this. But remember, all the replays will be deleted 48 hours after they are published. Okay. Here are the rules. Write out your main body paragraph. Get a pen, piece of paper, Write it out. That's all you need to do. Please do not demand that we look at your work. There are 46,000 people who have signed up for this masterclass. We do not have 46,000 multiplied by 20 minutes to look at everybody's work. Global targeted feedback will be provided at the end of lesson 3. Thank you very much, guys. The replay of this lesson will be available. Let me show you. So if you go to our YouTube channel and you go to the live tab, you'll find lesson 1. That was yesterday's lesson. That will be deleted tomorrow. So if you didn't catch that one, you have 24 hours to watch this. This is the lesson you're watching right now. This will be deleted after 48 hours. And tomorrow, this will be the lesson tomorrow. So this will be lesson 3. We're working on our conclusions, our time management, our vocabulary, our grammar. Do me a favor, guys. Go to this video on our channel and just click notify me. That turns your notifications on, and that will mean you get a notification from us. Also, as a favor, if you could, guys, just click on subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. If you click subscribe, it will mean that you're more likely to see lesson 3 tomorrow. So these lessons are totally free. All we ask is that you like the video and subscribe to it. All right, guys. So hope you enjoyed that lesson. Please make sure that you come to lesson 3 because you will get a lesson on conclusions and time management. You'll also get feedback on the second homework task, and you will be able to get all the bonus stuff, including all the free sample essays and everything if you complete the whole course. All right. And don't forget, guys, Friday is Black Friday, and we will have a very special offer, the biggest discounts we ever offer. We only do this one time per year, and we offer massive discounts on our VIP course, the most successful course in the world. So if you want to join the most successful IELTS course in the world at the lowest possible price, Friday is your day. All right. More information about that tomorrow. Sorry, I don't sound great today because I haven't been feeling well the last 24 hours. But I didn't want to let you guys down. So apologies if I don't sound as sharp as I normally do. For some reason, I just couldn't stay awake yesterday when I finished the lesson. Okay, guys. So I have about 10 minutes. If you have any questions related to anything, let me know. And I won't answer questions on things that I repeated multiple times. So, like, for example, somebody's saying, how do I submit my homework? I'm not going to answer that question. But if you do have a question, let me know in the comments. Everybody's saying thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for saying thank you. I really appreciate it. But could you not say thank you right now? Because I won't be able to see anybody's questions. All right. So I appreciate your thanks. A lot of you are asking about the VIP course. We will have lots of information about that tomorrow. So don't worry, we'll tell you about that tomorrow. And believe me, you will see our VIP offer on Friday. But we only have a small number of places, so make sure that you are there to get that. Are there any example essays I can follow online? Can you suggest any books? No. So most of the essays online, let's say band 9 essays, basically if you put band 9 on anything on YouTube or the internet, then people will click on it. The vast majority of the essays that you see online are not produced by people who know what they're doing. All right. I know that you don't like it when I criticize people, but you know, that's just the truth. All right. So you need to be very, very careful about who you trust and what you're looking at. The second thing about essays is like the World Cup is on right now. Millions of people are watching the World Cup. Are millions of people getting better at football? Like, is the skill level of the world increasing as they watch the best footballers in the world? No. Why not? Because football is a doing skill. You are like any skill, you are doing things. You cannot watch football and get better at football. You also cannot read essays and get better at essays. Because look, think about the stuff that we were teaching you today. We are teaching you about topic sentences and the purpose of them and how to write them, and explanations and how to write them and how to construct them, and examples. You cannot look at a main body paragraph and just write really good main body paragraphs. You need to understand what you're doing, then do it, then mess up, make mistakes, get feedback, do it again, refine it, improve, build upon that like any skill. So no, we don't really do essays like that. uh, what do you think is the source to get some examples for body paragraphs? This, your brain. Your brain is the most complex, wonderful, amazing, complicated thing that has ever been in the universe. Like, so use it. It's pretty impressive. Um, Hi, Chris. I want to ask about introduction part of essay. Is it okay to write background about the question? Edward, no, it's not. The reason why it's not is students just memorize stuff. They memorize templates, um, and the examiners know that you've memorized those. So the IELTS test is testing your ability to write in English. So Edward, you look like a young guy. Either you're very young or you have amazing skin. You probably want to do the IELTS test so you can move to America or the UK or Canada and attend university courses there. When you attend university courses there will be no templates. All right. There won't be anything for you to copy. So when you're using templates in your essay, the examiners are discounting that. They're not looking at that and thinking, oh, Edward memorized stuff. Memorization is the lowest form of intelligence. There are much, much higher forms of intelligence than memorization. All right. Creativity, thinking for yourself, being able to craft something yourself is a much higher form of intelligence than just memorizing what somebody else said. So that is what they're testing. They're testing your ability to look at the question, think about it, craft your own sentences, your own ideas, and then clearly communicate that by writing it down. That is a much, 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 much higher form um, of reasoning and intelligence than just memorizing stuff. So they don't consider that good. A lot of you are asking questions about the VIP course. I'm ignoring them, but I'm not ignoring you. It's just I want to help as many people as for free as possible. And then on Friday, Black Friday, we can focus on selling you the VIP course as much as possible. My exam is on December 3rd. Can you tell me if the reading questions in the Cambridge books are as difficult? Yes, they take a very, very long time to make sure that the questions in the real test and the questions in the Cambridge books, like those ones up there, um, are at the same level. However, a lot of countries, even in real bookshops, they sell fake Cambridge books, like those books there. So you need to be very, very careful where you buy your books and if they are real books. And the ones that you find online, the ones that you download online, they're normally fake, and they normally have computer viruses in them. Uh, why do you think these people are providing you with free books? It's to take advantage of you. So don't listen to people. If somebody says, "I just love helping people because I'm such a good person," normally normally that's not right. All right. Um, can we get 7 with simple vocabulary? It's you're asking the wrong question. All right. The I've never seen an essay with just simple vocabulary or just complex vocabulary. Look at real English. Get any book. Like if you got one of those books, doesn't have to be those ones, but any books in English. Read a paragraph. About 60 to 70% of those words will be A1, A2, like simple words, like an, the, because, said. 20% will be kind of intermediate words that most English learners in the world would be able to understand. And only 2 or 3% of those books will be complex high level words, because that's how language works. Um, not just English, any language in the world, the vast majority of the words will be simple words. In general, people who are good at writing, what they will do is they will only use a complex word when it is the only option. All right. When a simple word will not do. I don't want to criticize teachers and IELTS people and whatnot, but most IELTS students get it the other way around. What they believe is that a good essay has mostly complicated words when it doesn't. All right. That is because you're being taught by people who don't really know the marking criteria and don't really know what they're doing. So, how much words is okay for an essay? So, you must write over 250 words for task two. But once you start writing more than 300, you start to run out of time. So, you don't have time to check your essay. And sometimes you start to go off into areas that are unrelated to the question. So, um, between 260 and 300 is kind of the sweet spot. But what we teach our students is not focus on number of words or number of sentences. It is focus on it being good. All right. Write a good introduction, write a good topic sentence, write good explanations, write good main body paragraphs, good conclusions. If you think about that, then you will write like a good writer. Like no good writer in the world is counting the number of words and sentences. Like what they are thinking is, how can I write a good essay or a good book or whatever it is? What idioms can be used in writing? None of them. Right? Don't include idioms in your task two writing. Can we get a certificate? I don't under. We've got this question a lot this week. Can we get certificates for a free lesson? No. Um, why would you want a certificate for a free course? Like, what are you going to do with that certificate? Like, or what are you going to be? How is that going to help you improve your writing? You know, I don't understand that. Maybe I'm just not understanding students, but why don't you focus just on improving your writing? You don't need a certificate for that. See, for example, this one. What should be the minimum word count for each paragraph? Don't think about it as minimum or maximum. Think about it as good. So, like, you know, I don't know if you ever bought a diamond like for your wife or your girlfriend or whatever. Like, would you rather have a rock, just a normal rock you find out on the ground that is the size of my fist, or would you rather have a diamond that is that size? Like, size is does not equate to quality. All right. So be very careful about thinking about it in that way. Are there any apps that will check our essays? No. No apps at the moment. Maybe in 5, 10 years, but no apps at the moment are capable of looking at your I think you're talking about AI, artificial intelligence. So even stuff that's quite advanced, like Grammarly, for example, Grammarly was designed for native English speakers like me who have big fat fingers that make typos. So if I make a typo when I'm typing my emails or my essays, then what Grammarly will do is show me that I made that mistake. And as a native English speaker, I will be able to look at the suggestion from Grammarly and decide if it is correct or it is incorrect. A lot of the time, Grammarly says something is wrong when it's not wrong, and it often misses things that are wrong. And for you as a learner, as an English learner, it is totally inappropriate to use apps and things like that. Um, so yeah, I hope that there is something in 5 to 10 years because I don't really want to be teaching students in 5 to 10 years. So I hope AI comes and replaces me, but and it will also make all the gurus unemployed, and they'll have to go and scam someone else. So that would be very satisfying. Maybe I should set up my own software company, and then that would make all the gurus redundant. Maybe I should do that. Um, a lot of you are asking about the VIP course Friday. All right, just wait until Friday. I have a question, Patricia. Do we write things as firstly, secondly at the beginning? No, you don't have to. So you're talking about linking words, or sometimes they are called cohesive devices. So not just firstly, secondly, but words like therefore, consequently, all of these words. Only use them, Patricia, when it is appropriate to use them. So, for example, you could use therefore when you are showing what something means, and it is appropriate to use that. Or in conclusion, or to conclude, uh, you would use that at the start of your conclusion only. So it's appropriate to use it and it's accurate. All right. But the reason why you're asking this question is I think someone has taught you that if you use lots of these words, you will get a high score. No, there's no relationship between the number of linking words you use and your score. It's actually an inverse relationship. Generally, the more of these linking words that students use, the lower their score. The fewer they use, the higher their score. But it's more complicated than that. It's not just about frequency. It's generally students that don't know how to write an essay will include lots of linking words, or they have a bad teacher, unfortunately. Students that know how to write an essay know that you don't have to include these all the time. So generally, their essays are better, but not just because of the linking words, not just because of frequency. Hopefully, that made sense. Um, Guys, a lot of you are asking about like the ebooks and the gifts and stuff like that. And some of you are asking in a polite way, and some of you are asking in a very impolite way. Um, I'm helping 46,000 of you this week for free. All right. Imagine if I invited you to my home for a free dinner. At the end of the dinner, would you start going, "Where's the coffee? Where's the dessert? Where's my taxi home?" Like, that would be extremely rude. Like, I am going to look after you. I am helping you for free, but please do two things. Number one, just be polite because it's nice to be polite. And number two, understand that we are a small team, a very small team at IELTS Advantage, trying to help 46,000 people, which is the biggest IELTS class in the world at the moment. All right. Please, please, please. We are trying to help you, but just understand that we are human beings and we will do things one step at a time. And we will do it in a way that helps you, but you won't think that it's helping you. All right. But we know better than you. I don't know anything about anything else in the world, but I do know how to prepare IELTS students at scale for the test. Trust us, we will look after you. Don't worry about it. Okay. Like this, for example, ebook. Would you come to my house and I gave you a free dinner and just go, "Coffee"? You know, should we use proverbs and idioms? No, don't use proverbs, don't use idioms, don't use quotes, don't use any of that stuff. Because that, again, that's just memorization. That is not writing. That is just memorizing a bunch of phrases and proverbs and stuff, putting them into your essay in a way that doesn't make any sense and you probably are using the idiom or the proverb incorrectly as well. So it's ruining your essay, not improving your essay. Can we start essay without paraphrasing? You can do whatever you want. I'm not going to try and say your name because I'll sound really stupid. So I'll call you P. All right. It says P. So P, you can do whatever you want. You're an adult. All right. You can choose anything you want. And there is no one way to write an essay. All right. There are many incorrect ways and there are many correct ways. And I am not the best teacher in the world. It's impossible to know who's the best teacher in the world. But if you go onto our website, you will find more band 7, 8, and 9 success stories than any other course, school, teacher in the entire world. That is a fact that you can go and check. We have more. You can check any other website. They don't have as many as us. So who should you trust? Or what should you do? You know? So can you tell us how to deal with the word limit? So don't think about it as a word limit. Think about, should I write a good main body paragraph or good introduction, good main body paragraphs, include enough in there, include enough in my conclusion, and you will always be over the word limit if you follow what we're teaching you. So if you look, for example, at that main body paragraph, it was about 100 words long because we had our topic sentence, we had explanation, further explanation, and a good example in there. If both of your paragraphs do that, then just your main body will be 200 words. Your introduction and your conclusion will definitely be at least 25 words each, which is 50. So 200 plus 25 plus 25, 250. Don't think about number of words. Think about quality. How to convert research has shown to an example. Don't use research. IDP are very, very clear on that, and British Council are very clear. Don't use research. A lot of you are asking about like how do you do discuss both views, how do you do opinion essays, how do you do agree or disagree, how do you do advantages, disadvantages. We don't have time this week to do all of those. Um, I would die of exhaustion. Like I can't do all of those, but we do cover all of those on our VIP course, and the VIP course is at a massive discount on Friday. So there's your opportunity if you want to do that. But I don't have the time to do everything everybody wants. And also, guys, no, we've been doing this for like nearly 10 years. When you show students one thing, like for example, how to do a double question, and their immediate response is, what about this? Give me help with this other thing. Give me help with reading. Give me help with speaking. Give me help with it. Those students never master anything. They never learn anything. When students ask for, I want more of this, and I want more of this, and I want more of this, it seems to be some kind of mechanism in their brain that keeps them lazy, for want of a better word. Because if you're constantly complaining that you are not getting enough stuff, then it's easier to moan about not getting enough than it is to focus on one thing and really master one thing. Like if all you do this week is just really focus on what we're teaching you and master that, you will be way ahead of 99% of students that just go, well, I want to do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. They're the same students that believe watching lots of YouTube videos will get them a high score. It won't. If you think watching lots of YouTube videos will get you a high score, why don't you just watch all of the World Cup matches and become a professional multi-millionaire football player? Why don't you go to a museum and just look at lots of beautiful art and become a famous artist? Because consumption has nothing to do with skill. If consumption equated skill, then everybody would be an expert screenwriter and would be able to have a famous show on Netflix. We don't, because we don't have the talent to do it. Because watching something and doing something are two different things. But generally, the most successful people in the world don't consume things, they make things. Is there any way to get examples? So I think that you are asking, is there any list of examples? I don't know how many times I have to say this. The writing test is not a memorization test. So you can't, any teacher that is teaching you, learn this list of ideas, learn this list of vocabulary, learn this list of examples, look at all of these sample essays. What they are teaching you is memorization. So it would be like you wanting to lose weight and taking you to McDonald's. Like if you take fat people to like fat people like me, if you take me to McDonald's, I'll be very happy, but I'll still be fat. All right. So if you give students lists of stuff, you have very happy students, but they're going to fail the test. And I think one of the things that social media has created is the best way to become famous on social media, to get more subscribers, more likes, is to give people what they want, which is in the IELTS, in the IELTS business, that is very, very different from what students need. YouTubers give you what you want, teachers give you what you need, and what you need is not popular. So you need to be very careful. How's the weather in the UK? It's actually quite nice today. It's actually quite nice. We've been having very weird weather. It's been very warm for the time of year. But thankfully, I'm getting out of the UK in a week or so. I'll be in the Caribbean enjoying some winter sun. If any of you are in the Caribbean, let me know. I'll do some. I won't be doing IELTS lessons though. I'll be floating in the sea and drinking lots of rum. Okay, guys, I'm just getting the same questions again and again and again. Let me show you where you can find the answers to any question. All right. So 1 minute, guys. Okay, let me show you a little. I don't really teach tricks, but this is the best trick. So if you go to Google and type in IELTS Advantage, and then type in any IELTS question that you have. All right, so a lot of you are asking about word count. What it will do is it will take you directly to how many words should I write in the IELTS exam. So if we change that to improve vocabulary, it will take you directly to our vocabulary improvement plan. Or let's say you need help with pronunciation. Take you to our pronunciation guide. All right, you could click in there. Or what it will do is it'll show you all of our videos. So you could go there, it'll take you to a Facebook video. So it will show you exactly what you need. So use Google, type in IELTS Advantage plus, and it will take you directly to the answer to your question. All right. Hopefully that is useful, guys. I know a lot of you are asking about the VIP course. Just wait until Friday. It's Black Friday. It's going to be awesome. All right. Thanks very much, guys. And make sure that you go to lesson 3. It's on our YouTube channel. So if you go to our YouTube channel, go to live, go into lesson 3, click notify, and click the like button on this, and then it will notify you when we go live the exact same time tomorrow. And then I'll have more information about Black Friday tomorrow as well. Thanks very much, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.